Industry and Stakeholders Commission. Very much thank you and appreciate joining the State Racing Commission meeting today. Tom, would you mind just doing a quick roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Brennheiser?
Present.
I know Commissioner DeBunda is not attending. Commissioner Ellis?
Here.
Commissioner Hoffman?
Here.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Lark?
Here.
Commissioner Ruddy?
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you also have newly appointed Commissioner Polovitz on the phone, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, and welcome to all. Paula, welcome to the commission. I'll give you a chance here in just a moment to give some further background, but just to say that Paula is no stranger to ag or racing. She had spent time with Governor Ridge and Senator Robbins and Senator Wiltz, and done many other good things. So, Paul, it's a real pleasure to have you join us. And of course, she replaces Ed Rogers, who had just served through the last month. So look forward to working with you, Paula. We'll give you a moment, in just a moment, just to further introduce yourself. But before I do that, just to say this meeting has been properly advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Law. By way of notice, the commission conducted an executive session to engage in quasi-judicial deliberation to be adjudicated at the public meeting and engaged in attorney-client privilege communication. So with that, Paula, if you can hear us, I'll turn to you for a moment. Just introduce yourself and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. It is a privilege to join the commission. It's been an issue that has been near and dear to my heart for a long time, starting in the Senate days, and I was a part of writing legislation, and so I've been affiliated with the legislative, the regulatory components, and other components, if you will, of the industry. So little did I know that having been a part of writing this legislation, that it would come back and I would be one of those privileged to serve. So I thank you all. I ask for your indulgence as I try to catch up on issues. My door is always open. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I'm always eager to learn. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Commissioner Betts, thank you.
Welcome, Paula.
Welcome aboard. And when she says she knows the journey, it's been a 30 plus year sort of affiliation, association with racing in all forms. So it's seen the development of different legislative pieces and the stakeholder industry perspectives and some of the legislative battles. So understands it well. So great to have you on board. Thank you again for saying yes.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, pick up with the public meeting agenda. I'll need a motion to table the April 28th, 2026.
So moved. Sweeney.
Second. Dr. Sweeney on the motion, Commissioner Ellis on the second. Discussion. No discussion. We're just tabling. Everybody said
Aye. Aye.
aye. Okay.
Aye.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Then presentations. Let's move right to financial report. Tom.
Yes, sir. All right, the financial report for April, beginning cash balance is a little over 2,024. Total revenue for the month was 3,684. Total expenditures were 2,757, leaving an ending cash balance of 2,951. On the horse commission sheet, total revenue was 1,133,000. Taxes and penalties were 488. Non-tax was 645. Personnel costs were 449. Total operating costs were 74,000, leaving total expenditures 523. In the individual operating items and personnel, there's nothing out of line. They're trending as they have all year. Nothing out of the ordinary there. On the horse testing, total revenue is $2,550,000. As everybody remembers, there's the basic transfer for the month, and then there was making up for the first 6 months. Personnel costs are $397,000. Total operating is $1,468,000. Total expenditures of $1,865,000. I would bring your attention to the other specialized services where it's UPenn and industrial. As everyone is well aware, industrial has been doing the forensic testing. The $993 is the first 6 months, July 8th through December 31st. That payment went out this month to industrial in the amount of $993. And as I've said all along, and Petrol has been reducing their cost. So basically what this commission approved of about $7.6 million in the budget, in the spending authority, that will remain the same. And as we continue to pay industrial for the forensic testing, Petrol has reduced their cost accordingly. The next item is the comparative year-to-date financial statement. Total revenue is 19 million. Total revenue for 2026 for April, 19,255,000 versus 15,991,000. As you're well aware, in 2025, the transfer for the Racehorse Development Trust Fund was a little over $10 million. This year, it's closer to 15. Personnel costs are 9.8 versus 9.2. And that is attributed to what we expected with the union cost and the raises that were negotiated by the Commonwealth. Total operating costs for $8,749,000 versus $8,896,000, down about 2%. Total expenditures are $18,619,000 versus $18,153,000, a 3% variance. Trending as the commission has expected. Next one is the horse promotion. The transfer was $1,874,000. You'll notice that the Commonwealth is processing the reimbursements. This month, they reimbursed $360,000. The harness horsemen received $68,000. The PA horse breeders received $69,000. Standardbred breeders got $61,000. And the PTHA got about $160,000. About $891,000 has been reimbursed out of $1,874,000. And the last three sheets are the restricted funds, which cover the thoroughbred breeders, standardbred sire stakes, and the standardbred breeders development fund. Any questions, Mr. Chairman?
Questions, commissioners? None here, Tom. Thank you.
Moving on, with your pleasure, to the HISA update. There are 3 agreements that we normally do with HISA. One is the racetrack safety, which is an MOU. Then there's an IGA, which covers the test barn, and an LSA, which covers the lab. Those 2 agreements, the IGA and the LSA, are still pending. We're working with ISA and HIWU, and we've done a number of extensions since the beginning of the year. The latest one expires in mid-June. I looked, and we'll probably do another one for another 60 days. This allows racing and the operations to continue with no interruption of service, which is in the best interest of the industry, the horsemen, the breeders, and the tracks. Questions? The final issue I have is the Petrol suspension update. As people are aware, Petrol was suspended under the HEAL accreditation July 8th. There is an ongoing discussion and working together between Petrol and HIWU. Progress is being made. I'm hopefully optimistic in the near future they'll come to a collaborative resolution, and they will retain the forensic testing on the thoroughbreds. In the interim, industrial continues to do the thoroughbred forensic drug testing. That's it for me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Any other questions or comments on any of the agenda items that Tom covered, from financial to the HIS update, the petrol suspension? No. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Welcome. The marketing presentation, the PTHA. Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And just for awareness, make sure we spell our names and state clearly so the stenographer.
Sure. My name is Jeff Matty, M-A-T-T-Y, PTHA Executive Director. Secretary Redding, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity today. As you are aware, you can go to the second slide. The PTHA received just over $270,000 for our state marketing grant. We have some pillars, which I put on this first slide. Obviously, we focus a lot on television. For those of you that know, we have our weekly Let's Go Racing television show on NBC Sports Philadelphia. The positives to be on NBC Sports Philadelphia is that it puts racing at parks in the same ballpark as all the other major sports. So you see us sometimes they run reruns before a Phillies game, after a Phillies game, after an Eagles game. And that's very beneficial because we want to gauge, we want to gather the interest of that regular fan who loves Philadelphia sports. And we are a major sport. We act like a major sport. We need to be in the same ballpark as those major sports. Advertising and marketing, we spent over $110,000 there. That's a lot of on-site promotions and engagements, which I'll get to later on in my presentation. BM Media, they're focused specifically on social media. The great thing about BM Media is we are one of few clients of theirs. Their other clients are the Breeders' Cup, Keeneland Racecourse, the Masters Golf Tournament, and the Kentucky Derby. So we like to think we're in good company there. Brian is a local guy from Temple University. We're very fortunate that we align there. So our social media views continue to rise, which I will get to again later on in the presentation. Another key part that we love is Del Val Day. This will be our 5th year this October, where we grant scholarships. Professor Kiznik, great asset to not only their program, but to our partnership. And we bring the students out. When we started 5 years ago, we had about 25 to 30 students. Last year, we had an RSVP from them for just over 75 students. So it continues to grow year over year. And last but not least, you'll see that our Pennsylvania Derby show on NBC Sports Philadelphia, that's a joint partnership with Parks Racing, Joe Wilson, David Osajnik, and that continues to get better each and every year. If you could go to the next slide, please. Here's a couple things. We're allotted this money, and it's to say, hey, what are your goals? What are your objectives, and how do you get there? Obviously, increased visibility and engagement. I spoke a little bit about that, about merging us with those other major sports in the Philadelphia market. Handle increase, which I will get to. Our Pennsylvania Derby the last few years, our Derby Day handle continues to rise, even with a lack of a turf course the last few years. But hopefully, once we get that back, we'll be right on track. Industry promotion, like I said, aligning with those other racetracks, aligning with the marquee events. Racing now, at least for the younger generation, has turned into an events-driven sport. So you need to not only have the horses race on the track, but you need to create an atmosphere that they want to come to and what they want to do. So not only are we spearheading some futuristic ideas, but we're also modeling those other ideas in the industry that work. And last but not least, just to define our social license. It's great that we say we do all these things and all, but John Smith or Jane Smith at home on the couch, it's still, hey, there's a public perception about, what you guys do, how you treat the horses, and we are constantly staying on top of that. All of our marketing drives at the storytelling. It drives at the men and women that wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and spend all day long with their horses. Again, it's just defining our social license to operate and putting the equine athlete first, which we always do. Next slide, please. You'll see a little bit about this. On the right side, again, that's alluding to the BM Media. We had 3 million Instagram views in the span of a week on Pennsylvania Derby. Prior to hiring BM Media, we were right around 260,000. So big uptick there. And it's the kind of videos that they do. They're trending, they catch on, they get on people's fan page, and that's how we really kind of drive those numbers. We get signage throughout the Bucks County area. As you see, we target, we target Sam's Club. We go to the places that people are to let them know, hey, there's racing in your backyard. And then the beach banners have been a huge hit. Labor Day weekend, we fly beach banners up and down the Jersey Shore because there's 2 things that people are doing. Either 1, they're swimming and they're looking up to say, hey, Pennsylvania Derby's around, or 2, they're laying on their beach chair and they punch in the date. So it usually says Pennsylvania Derby. It'll say the date. We'll have a couple different variations, but that's been very well received. And at the bottom, you'll see that's the latest picture from Del Val Day. So very much looking forward to 2026 Del Val Day. But again, it's going to where the people are and reminding them that, hey, there's the highest class of racing right in their backyard. And it's taking those fans and it's putting them in an atmosphere where they want to keep coming back for more. Next slide, please. And you'll see, based on our handle, last year was our second highest handle day for Pennsylvania Derby, $17.2 million. Again, that was without a turf course. Very excited with our partnership with Parks Management, Joe Wilson. That turf course is being redone, so we very much hope, optimistic for possibly this year, if not 2027 Derby Day, we'll be back on the turf. Attendance, we had the highest attendance on Pennsylvania Derby Day this past year, most in 10 years, which was very exciting. Digital impressions, which I mentioned, going from 260-some thousand to 3 million in a week. We're trending upward there. Brand alignment. This is one thing I always wanted to bring to the PTHA, and we have done. As you'll see, we partner with Tunnel to Towers, which is a national foundation, a national brand. We partner with NovaCare, who is the proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they partner with the PTHA. So it's getting on those channels. Yes, we understand that we can get their message out by them partnering with us, and we kind of get it out to our membership to showing all the things that they do. But at the same time, it's a benefit to us because when they see NovaCare and then our logo next to it, the PTHA, that joint partnership, we're along for the ride with them. NBC Sports Philadelphia, top right, again, our weekly television show and our Derby Day broadcast. And then the National Thoroughbred League, we are one of 5 or 6 tracks that partake in that. So it's a great effort, and we look forward to going forward with that. That's about all I have. Very excited for this year. And again, like I said, in order to be successful, you have to have the right team around you. I think we have the right team, and the results. It's a team-based effort. So I think you're seeing the results pay dividends. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, excellent questions, comments.
I gave you guys hats, so take it easy on the questions. If you have any questions, you can always contact me anytime. We're always open to ideas. Like I said, it takes a team, and you guys are a big part of what we do, and we are very appreciative.
Your presentation is almost too logical. I mean, you're going where the people are, but you found these great connections. You figured out this sort of intersect between education and the sports and the alignment of other key partners in the region to get part of the drag. Right? They're pulling you in.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges in racing, so we don't like to think too far outside the box. Sometimes it's, here's your game plan and it works and you go with it. So we're very, very appreciative for all your help and your support and the entire commissions.
Yeah, I appreciate your talking about the social license, right? Just sort of, you've got an obligation to sort of talk about and engage on the social side, sort of what we do and why we do what we do, right? So
we realize that the PTHA and even racing throughout the parks is, if you start with that, sometimes that comes on the tail end. But if you start with the social license and, hey, the care of these equine athletes, then you really catch the regular person at home that might not even be a sports fan, but an animal lover, all of that's sort of where the equation's kind of shifting. You may be, hey, we have 2 grade 1 races, but yes, that's fantastic for people in the industry, but people who are just home on their couch looking to do something on a Saturday, tell the horse story first. Yeah. Let them come to the races, and then you could teach them what a grade 1 is, what $1 million race is worth, all of that. So it's really exciting. And like I said, I'm very proud of the team we have at the PTHA, and I excited to continue working forward.
That's good. Nice job. Thank you.
Speaking of out of the box, whose idea was the beach banner? Because that's good job.
Thank you. We see them all the time, so it's good to be in that realm. But again, I very much appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, I think USTA, let's use it.
Yeah, Mike Tanner, CEO of the USTA. Thank you.
For the record, my name is Mike Tanner, Tanner. I'm the CEO of the U.S. Trotting Association. The USTA, I know there's at least one new commissioner, so I can tell you a little bit about the USTA. We're sort of a one-stop shop for harness racing. We're based in Columbus, Ohio. I've been there since 1939. We serve as the breed registry for standardbreds. We promote and publicize harness racing. We help promulgate the rules of the game. We license the sport's participants, at least in terms of drivers and trainers and such. And we always insist upon the humane treatment of our equine athletes. I've been at the USTA since 2008. Before that, I helped open up Harris. It was then Harris Chester. It's Harris Philadelphia now. I was the director of racing operations. And it is nice to be back in Pennsylvania and see some friendly faces I haven't seen in a long time. So thank you very much for putting me on the agenda today. I'm here to talk to you briefly about the Equine Health and Wellness Database, which is something that the USTA introduced in 2024. And before I get into exactly what it is, I'll give you some of the background on why we feel it's necessary. So one of the things that I do a lot of is spend a lot of time in Washington, D.C. It's no secret that the USTA has been opposed to HISA, and we're promoting a repeal and replace bill. But going back to 2019, the meetings that I was taking took a bit of a change of tenor. It was around this time that horses started breaking down, thoroughbreds started breaking down at Santa Anita Park outside of Los Angeles. And what I was hearing in the meetings was, well, we need to do something to take care of your horses. Your horses are at risk. We want to do something to help your horses. And I was in the position of explaining that breakdowns, thankfully, amongst standardbreds are very, very rare, and that these were literally a different breed of horse. And people seemed surprised to hear that, but understandably so, because I think to the layman, a horse is a horse is a horse. So the question that I got back was, well, what are the accident rates? What are the fatality rates for standardbreds? And I couldn't answer that because they've been so rare that we really hadn't tracked them. Now, I could talk to them about my experience at Chester. I was there 3 years. There were more than 25,000 starters during my time there. There were 2 fatalities. One was a cardiac event in the paddock after a race. The other was a horse that had sustained structural damage to a limb during a race, managed to walk off the track, but sadly passed away a few days later. So 2 out of 25,000, the percentage is, the run safe rate there is like 99.9978 or something like that. So I started trying to research it on an industry-wide level, and I found that a couple of states had very robust databases, and I could derive that information. New York and California, as I recall, but that others had kind of piecemeal reporting. And then it really hit me that this is our responsibility. We're the record-keeping body for the sport. So we came up with this database. We rolled it out in 2024, and it's been there, but it's not really been embraced. And it's not surprising. There's no incentive for anyone to enter that information. And we were talking to the whole industry. We were talking to veterinarians. We were talking to trainers. We were talking to owners. If something goes wrong, please let us know. We're trying to collect all of this accident and injury data because we think there are things to be learned from it. If we can get large data samples of equine injuries and illnesses and diseases and things like that, we're going to learn more about the issues that are plaguing the sport, and we'll also hopefully find a way to try to prevent some of those. If we're seeing a rash of, say, soft tissue injuries in a certain locale, well, that might say something if we're not seeing it elsewhere. It's just a matter of getting this information and then learning from it to improve the industry understanding of equine health and safety trends. I think at the outset, we certainly were too ambitious. And so we've narrowed our focus for now and are approaching the commissions. I'm kind of going on tour over the next 2 or 3 months. You are my first stop, so I'm going to make all my mistakes with you and then hopefully learn from them. But what we are asking is for the judges at your various racetracks, when there is any type of incident on the track that involves an injury, an accident, anything like that, or in the paddock on the track, to report that to the USTA. And I'm happy to report that the judges have been trained to use the portal that is available on Pathway. TC Lane, who some of you know, this is his pet project. And what we found is the judges have been very receptive. Now, what we plan to do eventually is to expand it so that owners and trainers and veterinarians and caretakers, et cetera, hopefully will similarly be feeding the database, but we've got to crawl before we can walk. And right now I'm just looking for accident rates more than anything else, because I think one accident is too many, as we all know, but I also think we have a story to tell about how safe harness racing is. And that is something that certainly would be helpful to the industry and more personally helpful in the job that I am trying to do. And so I bring this to you, and my ask is pretty simple. It's just to encourage participation among licensees, but more directly among your employees, among the judges, to let them know about this and to point them to us with any questions that they might have. Now, recently, the ARCI, Racing Commissioners International, passed a model rule that I hesitate to say requiring, because there's no way really that they can enforce it either. So let's just go with encouraging the judges at the various tracks to report this data to us. So we've got support from a larger group, an umbrella group, if you will. And the other thing that I would stress is, because this is new and because it might not be perfect, we encourage the feedback about the process, about what is easy, what isn't, and we will be responsive to that. But I think this is the type of information that can benefit the industry in a bunch of ways, and all of it is able to be shared. And if there are specific things that, let's say, the commission would want us to look at, we're absolutely up for that as well. So that's my pitch. It's my 5-minute elevator pitch or thereabouts. If you have any questions at all, I'll try to answer them as best as I can.
I do, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So are we talking strictly fatality data, or are you talking injury as well? Because injury not necessarily fatality.
I would like both.
You'd like
if it
both.
happens at a racetrack, on the track, or in the paddock, that's the type of information that we would like to gather.
Yeah, I know, Mike, after you reached out to me 2 weeks ago, I did reach out to our judges. They said they were basically trained on how to do it at the continuing ed things.
Right.
TC and Michelle did. So they're going to be entering any information from an accident, whether it turned out to be no contest, if there was fatalities, whatever it was. So,
That's wonderful.
So they're starting to do that. Hopefully there won't be too many times they have to do it, but
Exactly.
but they know what they need to do moving forward with it, for us anyhow. And then they'll probably want to expand it to other things. Judges always do.
No, that's good though.
To
I
get
mean,
it
that's what we're hoping. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, well, yeah, no, it's like, I'm not speaking for George.
Freak the lawyer out.
Yes, sir.
No, I lost what I was going to say. If I have any more questions,
Anytime.
I'll just reach out to you.
Always.
So thank you.
No, thank you.
Other questions?
How are you going to send this information out? I guess it needs to come back to, I guess, somebody within our organization so that we can actually know exactly what all has happened over a period of time.
My thoughts is that the initial information sent in would be grouped by state, and we can obviously break that down into by track as well. And that overall it would be aggregated into national figures that could then be, anybody that would want it, we would be willing to share that. I mean, it's got to be transparent.
But it has to be requested. Is that what you're saying, or?
At this point, if hadn't really thought that far ahead of it. But if, for instance, if this commission said, well, we would like a monthly report on what has come in, we would be happy to do that. However, how often you would want it or in whatever form, we'd be able to do that. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know, but I'm
Dr.
going to ask
Sweeney.
the directors, don't we already collect that information
Yeah.
for our own use?
So every day, the judges and the stewards on the Thoroughbred side do a daily report of anything that happened through those 13 or 14 races in a day. And that's done monthly. It gets loaded up on it's done daily. It gets loaded up on the shared drive. And then we do a monthly report off it. That's how we come up with the fatalities for the month and for the year and stuff like that. So
I remember, and this is going back almost 20 years now, but I do remember there was a standardized report form that, as a racetrack operator, that I filled out whenever there was any type of incident or injury on the racetrack, and then sent. But this is pre-PDF. That's how long ago this was. I think we faxed it in, as I recall. So,
Mike, would you expand this to the fairs too, or just you keep it to the pari-mutuel?
right now, we're concentrating on the pari-mutuels, but we would welcome the more information, the better. And I know fair racing is important here. In my new home state of Ohio, we've got 63 county fairs, and we will be approaching them as well.
I did remember what I was going to, Mike.
Yes, sir.
The type of information that you're going to get, will it contain, it most likely will contain personal data, personal information. Well, somebody's reporting that, George's Hanover went down at the Meadows and we got, so someone is going to be reporting that. The information, a trainer's name, all that kind of stuff. How will you parse that, or will you just simply say, yep, George's Hanover, the horse went down, and that's it?
It's pretty much, it would be horse, it would be, possibly the dam's name. And I think there's no plans otherwise to promote that. There are confidentiality concerns that there's even in our database of Pathway right now, if you go into that, it shows addresses, for example, and there are questions as to whether that should be shown even. So I'm going off on a tangent, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I understand where you're going with that. I share those concerns. Same exposure. Appreciate that.
Who is responsible in your organization for collecting that information?
TC Lane is the point person, and he's working with Sherry Antion Moore, who's our IT guru, so to speak, and Michelle Kopiak. So this would be the three people right there. Starting with TC, he'd be at the top of that.
You still have a challenge of incentive.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, ultimately, this is about having good information about what's happening to health and welfare, which is good to have. But you also have, a target on the HISA, right? I mean, this part of this is the story you want to tell at the national level.
That's part of it. Yeah, absolutely.
And to say, I think that would be fairly motivating, to sort of get states on board. That's your sense?
I spoke informally with some of the commissioners at the ARCI meeting in Indianapolis, and was I won't say that I was met with enthusiasm, but I would say openness. People were open to it, and say, we'd love to try to help you out with that. But Secretary Redding, you're right. Incentive is doing things for the good of the industry. That will motivate some people, but for others, especially people who are working hard to get their jobs done, horsemen, for example, that one's going to be tougher. It's not realistic to expect that a horseman with, say, any number of horses, 30, 40 horses, is going to think, okay, this one came up a bit ouchy, might have a soft tissue injury. I'm going to run right to my computer and let the USTA know about it. That I don't see that happening. So trying to focus on the bigger things right now.
So what's the action of the commission? Is it sort of awareness at this point? Let us consider your request.
You guys are already ahead of the list. I'm sorry, Dr. Sweeney.
So we have the data currently.
So you have,
Right.
okay.
And
So
so it's just a matter of,
Right, and our judges have already been trained on how to enter it into the portal and stuff.
And that's actually where I was going. So Pennsylvania's a bit ahead of the curve because there are some states whose judges have not yet been fully trained, whereas Pennsylvania was pretty much first off the gate. It's another reason why I'm here.
so I have a question. Does this commission, to me it sounds great, but does this commission need to approve the Pennsylvania data going into a national database? Good.
No,
That's
you're good.
good. I'm glad.
Cooperation with the USTA.
One of my judges did ask me when I say about my take it a little further, do they include horses that did not finish, that pulled up? If they were, and if
DNS.
when I say did not finish pulled up, but they weren't carted off, they weren't loaded off on a trailer, they made it back to the paddock.
My knee-jerk I want as much data as we can get, but it would be very difficult at the same time to conclusively say why a horse It could be a soft tissue injury. It could have flipped his palate. Could have just been the driver being very, very cautious. Could have been the horse that was hopelessly beaten. It's very hard to codify at that point, but we would be interested in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to distinguish the difference between the thoroughbred incidents and the harness incidents, because when the fatalities were out there about Santa Anita, it didn't matter if you were standardbred. We were all grouped together. You guys,
Exactly. And
everything.
the other thing that I would just say, we are not trying to make the thoroughbreds look bad or anything like that. The thoroughbreds are not the enemy here. We're all in this industry together, and we've worked very closely with the HBPA, National HBPA, on a number of things over the past few years. I just want us to be able to speak, to answer those questions that people have about standardbreds. Because there are differences. There are differences, obviously, in gait and in structure and in racing model and in business model and things like that. But it all comes down to the fact that we really want our horses to be as healthy as they can. And if there are things that we can learn from the data that will help that happen, we want to be part of that.
Us too.
I know.
It's very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, that concludes presentations. Administrative actions, we've got two. Tom or Tony?
I'll do them real quick. Mr. Chairman, we need a motion to approve simulcast calendars for June of 2026 for the standardbred racetracks. That would be Harris, Philadelphia, Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs, and the Meadows.
So
Okay,
moved,
thank you,
Commissioner
Tom.
Lark.
Commissioner Lark on the
Second.
motion, Commissioner Brenheiser on the second. Discussion of this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The final motion is to approve simulcast calendars for June 2026 for the thoroughbred tracks. That would be for Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Do we have a motion to approve? Commissioner Ruddy on the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ellis on the second. Discussion of this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, yeah, those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, industry reports.
Hey, Mr. Chairman. Sure. I just remind everybody online to please state your name and your affiliation for the benefit of the court reporter in the room. We'll go to Michael Carter first from the Meadows. Michael.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michael Carter, Michael Carter, Carter. I apologize. My voice is a little raspy due to a cold. Things here are going well. We've got several great events coming up over the next several weeks. On June 12th, foiled again, the richest standardbred of all time will be on our apron. We're working with the MSOA to get a mare and foal to have a full naming contest. They will also be on the apron on June 12th. We started racing on Friday nights. Last Friday, we'll have food trucks every Friday night here at the Meadows to kind of bolster those nights. And then we're getting ready for the Adios coming up in July. We're happy to announce that Express Bet, First Bet, will be the presenting sponsor of the Adios in conjunction with us this year. And we're happy about that. And of course, we'll find out more about the CBS Sports telecast hopefully this week. So lots going on here at the Meadows and a lot of exciting things.
Okay, thanks, Michael, and I hope you feel better. Next, we'll go to Brad Cobb from Pocono. Brad.
Hi, all. Brad Cobb, BRAD, COBB, CFO for Pocono Downs. So far for May, we've been struggling with a lot of weather during our racing days. Only had a couple of good days. However, we are up 2.4% on our growth in our live handle, and that's with 3 less racing days. So optimistic there that will continue. And we're excited that Sunday night is our first night of Sunday night racing, 5 p.m. post time. We're going to have live music, family-friendly food options here at the concession stand. So excited for that and hopefully some better weather in the future here for coming up.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Next, Barry Brown from Harris. Barry.
Thanks, Tony. Barry Brown, BARRYBROWN, Director of Racing Operations, Harris, Philadelphia. We just concluded this past Sunday our big day, our invitational Sunday. It's the premier day of our racing season. Despite the weather, we had a really solid, good crowd on track. The PHHA and the PHRA were here, and we thank them for their participation. We handled over $1 million for the day, which was really exciting for our team. So it was despite the weather, it ended up being a really, really good, strong day. Earlier in the month of May, we also had a great Derby Day, and we had a really great Mother's Day, which is always a traditional great day for us here. We look forward to Belmont Stakes Day in June and Father's Day, which similar to Mother's Day is one of our best days of our season. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, Barry, compliments to your track crew. It poured all night Saturday and Sunday morning, and yet first race was a fast track, and they went some unbelievable miles. So good job to Justin and his track crew.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Joe Wilson from Parks. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Had a good Kentucky Derby day. Nice crowd. Same with Preakness. Obviously, it's always a lot less than it is Kentucky Derby. Looking forward to 2 weeks Belmont Stakes Day, where we hold our annual Basset Hound racing. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Joe. Scott Lisha from Penn National. Scott?
Thank you, Tony. Scott Lisha, SCOTTLISHIA. Director of Racing here at Penn National. We're getting ready for Penn Mile this weekend. Our racing office and stakes coordinator put together a really nice card for Friday night. We're going to have some kid-friendly events down on the end of the apron. We have the state police, Sergeant Carrie Needeye, and I hope I didn't mispronounce her name. She's going to bring out her mounted unit. They're going to present the colors for the national anthem for us. And we hope to have a really nice evening, nice weather, and looking forward to that. We also had a really nice Derby. It went very well. Learned a few things here for myself on that. And, although we've been struggling with entries a little bit, like a lot of people in the area, hoping to have a great summer moving forward. Camels, ostriches, and zebras are only about a month away, so everybody looks forward to that. But please come out Friday night. I think we're going to have a wonderful evening of racing, and should be a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Next, we'll go to Matt Ennis from Presque Isle. Matt?
Matthew Ennis, MATTHEW, last name ENNIS, Senior Director of Operations here at Presque Isle Downs. We had our first race day last Monday, May 18th. Glad to see the horsemen back. We are down about 13% in export handle, down 17% in starters for the first 3 days. However, it's very premature. We, like others, are struggling with entry so far, but we see an uptick in our backside population, which is encouraging over the last couple days. Yesterday, we had an earlier post time attempting to appeal to the Erie community at 12:30, worked very well. It was a beautiful day here in Erie, PA. And really, we want to just introduce the fact that live racing is back in the Erie community area, well attended by families. So very encouraging start in that respect. That is all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Sam, PHHA, you have anything? Or Mike's on. Mike Horan from the PHHA. Mike? Do we have you, Mike? We can come back to Mike.
Looks like you, Sam.
You want to fill in, Sam?
I don't have the report.
Okay. We'll try Mike again at the end. How about we go to Donnell? Donnell Mock, please, from the MSOA. Donnell?
Thanks, Tony. Donnell Mock, DAWNELLE, MOCK. Michael covered pretty much everything. We're getting excited for Adios time and getting everything in order for that. We started our Friday night racing, and hopefully we'll have better weather than we had this past Friday since it just poured. So we're looking forward to the Fridays and hopefully better weather for the rest of the summer. But that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Donnell. Jeff, you have
No
anything?
report.
Jeff's good. Okay. I don't know if we have Todd Mosteller. Todd, are you on? I don't think so. How about Mike Simpson from the Standardbred Breeders? Mike?
Mike Simpson, MikeSimpson. No report today.
Okay, Mike. And last but not least, Brian Sanfratello. Brian, are you on? Do we have Brian?
I am on, but.
There you go.
Oh, you got me? Okay.
Yeah, we got you.
Good afternoon. Brian Sanfratello, BrianSanfratello. If you move to your agenda, you will see page 1, deposits to the breeding fund are down $705,000 through the end of April. Our annual yearling show will be held at Brandywine Polo again, same as last year, Saturday, June 20th. Rick Abbott will be our guest judge for that day. Come on out. It's usually we usually have a fantastic time. The June Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred has the 2025 champions listed. Our horse of the year was Kappa Kappa, winner of the grade 2 Raven Run Stakes. Any questions?
Hey, Brian, it's Russell Jones.
Yes.
That drop of 705,000 of transfers is concerning, and I wonder what are we going to do about that? What can be done about that?
Well, I think that the first 6 months of the year of the fiscal year, they're doubling up on the money being taken out. I'm sorry, from January through July. Last year there was nothing coming out because of the budget stalemate, and we should pick up the last 6 months of the year. But again, we're down a good portion of that because they're doubling the transfers to make up for last year.
But does that not indicate any kind of a trend that we should be worried about, Brian?
Well, I think that the trend is across the continued across Pennsylvania. As far as money coming into the Racehorse Development Trust Fund, that continues to go down because of the slot revenues are coming into brick and mortar and transferring over to the online slots. So yes, it is concerning that's happening.
Do you think this is going to result in some prize money reduction?
Well, I think you've already seen it at the tracks. You've seen the number of race days being decreased to try to keep the purses at a level state. As far as we're concerned, on the the breeding end of it, we can't. There's not a whole lot we can do as far as that's concerned. We help out. I know we do some collaborations with the PTHA in trying to spur more people coming to the races, and with the PHRA. But that's we are not in the position to be able to say, well, we'll cut days and keep the purses the same.
Well, it's a concern that we want to keep our eye on because it's going in the wrong direction, and I don't think it augurs well.
And I think we are looking to do, to try to generate more money into the Racehorse Development Trust Fund through Harrisburg.
Okay, thank you, Brian. We'll give Mike Corrett one last try. Mike, are you on?
You don't have a report anyways.
Okay. All right, there was no public comment, Mr. Chairman, but I did want to mention one thing about the fair guide. The fair guide is out. There's some on the table there, but I just want to thank Ryan. He's the one who put it together, and he did a heck of a job putting it together. And on page 35, he put a tribute to Commissioner Rogers. So if you just take a minute to read that, it's a really nice tribute that Ryan made to him. Thanked him for all his years of service. So thank you, Ryan. Good job. So,
Thank you, Ryan. Other business to come before the commission? I'll note the June 30, 1 o'clock is the next commission meeting. This completes the business of today's meeting. But before I adjourn the public meeting, I'm announcing that I'm calling an executive session of the commission following the adjournment of the public meeting. The executive session will be held in my office on the second floor in approximately about 10 minutes for the purpose of discussion of matters related to the initiation and conduct of investigations. The commissioners who are attending this meeting via Teams will be provided a separate link to the executive session immediately following the adjournment of the public meeting. So please check your email. For those here, of course, please come up to my office. This adjourns the meeting. Okay, thank you.